Hi everybody. I promised everyone that I would do these videos on the new method of forward and backward scanning. So this is the one that I strongly urge you to use in your SAC. Here is the practice SAC network. So I'm going to show you the solutions for this, and I'll have the corrected solutions uploaded to OneDrive as well. So just be careful, because we do have extra boxes in the new method, and it's supposed to make life easier, but it can be a bit confusing at the start. That's all, when you got boxes kind of everywhere. So I'll try and sort of give you some hints as we go. So we've got our network here. Remember, there's one node to begin everything. Activities A and B happen at the start. And you'll see that there's lots of boxes here because you have two activities happening. Now, originally I used to label this A and B, but I think that was confusing people when we did forward scanning, because they thought that you had to use A's number to work out this number, and it was just confusing. So I'm just going to try and not label it. You can see I've got the top boxes for A and the bottom boxes for B. Bear with me. There we go. All right, so at the start, all of the top boxes are the earliest start time. So you find that with forward scanning. I feel like some people kept doing the wrong part of the box. So then this bit here is the latest start time. So the latest time that activity can start. Do this with backward scanning. Okay, so please remember that. So activity A and B can both start as early as 0 months. I think it's months that we're talking about here. So they're both 0. Now, every time you do forward scanning and you've got multiple boxes, the top number is always going to be the same, but most times the bottom number will change. They'll be different, okay? Because there might be one activity on the critical path and the other one might not be on the critical path. So let's go. You can't do the bottom boxes yet until you've filled in all of the top boxes going from left to right. Doesn't matter, both of these are going to be the same, but we've got two paths. Oh, look at this, we're missing some boxes. Here we go. You've got two paths here, so we don't know what's going to go here until we can work out all the boxes leading up to that. So this box here, this is going to be 6. So C can start as early as 6 because B has to finish before C starts. So you look at the box to the left plus the time gives you this box to the right. Now, we've got this way and this way, so you have to check both before you can work out what numbers to put here. This number doesn't go here and this number doesn't go here. The reason for the multiple boxes is only for backward scanning. For forward scanning, the numbers stay the same. So 0 plus 10 is 10, so I'm just going to put it here. And 6 plus 3 is 9. Look at the two numbers, and you put the largest number in the top box. So when you're going through forward scanning, you have a choice. You put the largest number in. Let's go up here. So these are both the same, so it doesn't really matter which box you look at. So 10 plus 4 is 14. They're both going to be 14. And then down here, you've got another two paths. So we're going to do 14 plus 5 is 19. And then we look down here at E's edge. So the start of E is 10. That's the earliest you can start it, plus the time. So 10 plus 7 is 17. 19 and 17. 19 is the biggest number. Put them in both boxes. We have another situation where there's two paths going into this node. So look over to the left of G. Again, there's two boxes, doesn't matter, they're the same. So 14 plus 13 makes 27. 19 plus 11, so this is the left of I, plus I's time is 30. Put the biggest number in. Go down here, there's only one edge to worry about, so look to the left of H, 19 plus 8. So that goes straight in. Hang on. No, that's right. Sorry, I thought I skipped ahead. That's 27. And then we've got one box left and there's 2 paths to check. Okay, so don't just do one and forget about the other. 30 plus 7, 37. 27 plus 9, 36. 37 is the biggest. And we've done our forward scanning. So all of the top boxes have been filled in. Notice when there's multiple boxes, the top numbers, they're still the same. Don't have to worry about the separate boxes that they're on, just make sure you fill in all of them. I'm going to use a different color when I do my backward scanning. So start from the end and work backwards. You put the same number in the bottom as the top for that last node for this final box. And then we're going to be working just with the bottom box, take away the time to get the next box. So now for forward scanning, we're looking at the box to the left plus the time to get the box to the right. Now we look at the box to the right minus the time to get the box to the left. So I'll do this bottom one because that's the easy one. So 37 take away 9, 28. 37 take away 7, 30. So they're the same. That means that's on the critical, J is on the critical path. Then working backwards, this is when we've got some multiple boxes going on. Okay, so when you've got multiple boxes to fill in, it's actually not as hard as when you're starting with multiple boxes to work backwards. So we're going to work out this one here. Remember, I didn't label them, so I'm just going to call the top ones I and this one's H. But if you swap them around, then you should really label them. So it just makes life easier. So I'm going to look at the bottom one first. 28 minus 8 goes to this bottom bit. So that's the latest start time for H. And then looking at I, look at the box to the right of I at the bottom. 30 take away 11 will give you the box to the left of I. Remember, this is the box for I. So it's 19. Sorry, my brain is that? It is, yes. Right, so that's done so far. We're about halfway through. And then again, we've got 2 boxes here. So I put the top one will be for G and then the bottom one will be for F. So they're just in the positions of where the edges are going anyway, but you can label them. I just found again that some people got confused with the labels, so it's up to you. 13, sorry, look to the box to the right, 30 minus 13. That's going to be 17 for G. Now, let's look down here. So to work out F, this is a bit tricky because we've got 2 boxes here at this node. Again, because I haven't labeled them, it's less confusing. So when you've got 2 boxes to work from, pick the one with the smallest number. So forward scanning, we were dealing with the largest number. Backward scanning, it's the smallest number. So we're going to use 19 rather than 20. 19 take away 5 is 14. All right, so now we'll go over here. Let's do E, 20 take away 7. Oh, whoops. See, almost did it without thinking. 19 take away 7, because we're not looking at any box that has a bigger number than the other box. We're looking at the one that has the smallest. Always work from that. It's really easy to forget that. It's the main tricky thing about having these extra boxes. 19 take away 7 is 12. And then again, we look for D for this number here. Go across to the right of D, and we've got 2 lots of boxes. Use the smallest one. 14 take away 4 is 10. Notice so far that all of my later start times are either bigger than the top number or the same. If they're smaller, something's gone wrong. So then down here, let's do C. 12 take away 3 is going to be, wait, no, sorry, I did it again. Always double check. 10 take away 3, always look for the smallest out of the 2 options that we have. 10 take away 3 is 7. 10 take away 10 is 0. So that works. That's a good sign. 7 take away 6 is 1. So if you've got multiple boxes at the start, one of them should have 0, 0 at the start because your critical path needs to start at the beginning. If neither of these have 0, 0 in it, then something's gone wrong as well. So you just got to recognize this so that you can redo or fix things. Critical path, let's highlight it. So A's number, both A's box is number this. Oh God, I can't speak today. A's boxes are the same. So that's why that's on the critical path. These boxes were for D. That's on the critical path. 14 and 17 is different, so G is not on the critical path. These boxes are for F, the bottom edge coming out of there. So that one's on the critical path. Now have a look here. These are different, so H is not on the critical path. These boxes were for I. I like this one. And then there's not really anything to choose from. J is definitely on the critical path. There's your critical path. Write it out. A, D, I, J, and then we're done. Forward and backward scanning. So that's how the extra boxes help that. Now, this is going to be even more helpful when we get into the table. Okay, so let me go through that now. Try and have them both in front of me. I remember I changed the headings. So these 3 are fine. This is pretty much fine as well. It's the earliest start time for the current activity. And this is the latest start time for the current activity. And this is just not this crazy formula, but just the latest start time minus the earliest start time for that activity. So when you've got the boxes, it's just going to be for each activity the bottom number minus the top number. So the top number is going to go into this column here, and the bottom number will go into this column, and then you're just going to do this minus this equals this. Don't worry about including the completion time. We used to, but this is a much better system. Apologies. All right, I'll just fill in this because I'm sure this bit is the easy part. The predecessors, the activities that need to happen before these activities. F, G, I, J. No, not J. H. Yeah. And then the activity times. This is just looking at, so D is 4. What? E is 7, F's 5. G is 13, and so on. I don't need to go through that, I'm sure. 8. I is 11, 7, 9. Okay, so let's go through everything. So activity A, these are the boxes for activity A. If you want to, before you do this, this is when you should actually maybe put some labels in. So this is for A, and this is for B. This is for D, and this is for E, and this is for G, this is for F, I, H. We don't need to worry about those. Okay, so A has 0, 0. 0 at the top, 0 at the bottom. B has 0, 1. 0, 1. C, let's see, 6, 7. Moving across. You can tear out the SAC and we can staple it together if you find doing things like this a bit easier. D has both the same. So 10, 10. E, is 10, 12. So there's E's. G is 14, 17. Oh, that's not G. 14, 17. Be careful to make sure you put it in the right spot. Easy to mess up. I was down here. So 19, 19, 19, 20, J. Oh yeah, J is there. So 30, 30, and K. So K is that one after H, 27, 28. Okay. So then we just do this column minus this column. That's going to be 0. Can't write today for some reason. 1 minus 0 equals 1. 7 minus 6 equals 1. 10 minus 10 equals 0. 12 minus 10 equals 2. 14 minus 14 equals 0. 17 minus 14 equals 3. 20 minus 19 equals 1. This is going to be 0. It's on the critical path. Also 0. This will be 1. So these are all the float times. These are all the times that these activities can be delayed by. If it's 0, you cannot delay these activities. These ones are critical. Okay, so this is critical, 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 critical. So you can see they're on ADIJ. ADIJ, they are on the critical path. All right, hopefully that makes more sense. Let's move on to the crashing part of the question. I'll just double check. I haven't missed anything. Oh yeah, so remember this question here is asking for the float time. So I think it's just find the activities that have float time. So you can see you just write all the ones that have a time that's not a 0. Okay, so if I just write that out, it'll be B1, I think this is months. Yep, apparently it's months. Okay, so 1 month. And then C is 1. E, 2 months. F is critical, G, 3. H1. And K, 1 month. So these, just in case you've forgotten, were just these last numbers in that final column of the table. So that's that done. Okay, so we've done crashing, we've done, we've done the float time, we're now up to crashing. All right, I think I've set this up somewhere. Yes, here we go. So the reason why I redrew this network is just to make it a bit bigger. So we'll hopefully have lots of space in the real SAC. Now, there's some numbers missing because some of the activity times changed. So the time taken with task A can be reduced to 8 months, E to 5 months, and I to 4 months. So we're going to put A as 8 months. What's it called? E5, I4. So E, where the D? E must be there. And I4. There we go. All right. So again, I'm not going to label the boxes unless you want to, but again, I thought it's less confusing when you're doing your forward scanning. You notice I put them really close to the node I found that some people were putting them over here and you didn't know what it was for. So these two are right next to the node. I keep forgetting about this guy here. We need 2 here. Only 1. 1 here. 1 here. Okay, so let's go through all this again. You can't just manipulate the one you'd already done. You have to start from scratch again. So 0, 0. We'll do this a lot faster than before. So we can't do that one until here. 6. This is 9, 8. Biggest number, 9. Make that easier to read. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. 9 plus 5, 13. So 18 is the biggest. 13 plus 13 is 26. 18 plus 4 is 22. Biggest number in. 18 plus 8, 26. And then the final number, we've got to look at both. 26 plus 7 is 33. And 26 plus 9 is 35. Biggest number in. So it still ends up being smaller than the original 37 that we had. So there is your forward scanning. We need to do backward scanning now. I'm going to use my red again. The start, when you start from the end, you put the same number in the bottom as the top. And then let's keep going. Bottom number, take away time. And that's going to be 26. 35, take away 7, 28. We've got 2 boxes, so this box is for this activity, this box is for this activity. So let's do this bottom one. 26, take away 8, 18, 28, take away 4, 24. Looking good so far. And then again, this box is for this activity and this box is for this activity. So I put them near the actual activity, but remember it needs to be right next to the node. So 28 take away 13, it's going to be 15. And this will be 13 because that's, oh yeah, I forgot to do this. So when you work this one out, I did it a bit ahead, apologies. You've got 2 numbers to choose from here. Okay, you haven't had that so far. So you need to use the smallest number, remember, not the 24. It just requires extra thinking. This is really easy to forget. 18 minus 5 is 13. That's how we got that. We'll probably have the similar situation in a minute, so we can practice that again. And then over here, this set of boxes is for E and this set of boxes is for D. So look at the bottom one first. 18 minus 5, that's going to be 13. And the top one, we've got 2 numbers to choose from. Which one do we use? The smaller number. So 13 minus 4 is 9. If you've got to a point here where both sets of boxes have different top and bottom numbers, something's gone wrong, because that means that there's no critical activities here, and you have to have some kind of critical path from the start that travels all the way to the end. So you know something's gone wrong there. Let's work down this bottom one because it's the easy one. 13 minus 3 is 10. And then this box is for B, this box is for A. 10 minus 6 is 4. Something's gone wrong there. Hang on, I think I did it again. See, I knew I would do that. I did that last time. All right, let's just fix this up. So I did it again. See how easy it is to make that mistake? We don't use the 13. We use the smaller bottom number minus the 3. So that's going to be 7. And this is going to be 1. Apologies again, but just to show you how easy it is to make that mistake. And then really? 9 minus 3 is 6. And it's also easy not to subtract properly. There we go. 9 minus 8 is 1. Right. Just also, you can see you want to get through it quickly, but you don't want to rush, because rushing leads to mistakes. It's very easy to make mistakes with all of this. All right, so critical path, let's use green. So our critical path has changed. So this is 0, 0 now, so that's for B. 6, 6, that's for C. This one here, the top one is for D. The top one is not critical, so that's for G, so then F is the critical one. And then this is not critical, so I is not critical, and now it's going to be H. And these two are the same as well, so K is critical. So it has changed for B, G, sorry, C, not G, D, F, H. Okay, cool.